Hey you guys, today's video is a cooking video. It is for this honey lemon pepper baked chicken with garlic. You see it. Let's get into how I make it. I'm starting off with leg quarters. I washed them thoroughly. Chicken has already been washed. I'm now cutting the chicken up. I'm separating the legs and the thighs, and I'm also cutting off any extra parts of the chicken that I don't want, like the fat or any extra pieces that are hanging on the side that don't really look desirable. So I'm just cutting all that off and cleaning up all my chicken. For this recipe, I'm using 6 pieces of chicken. That's 3 leg quarters, so that's 3 thighs and 3 legs. That's what I'm using for this recipe, because this is just enough for me in my house. But if you need more meat, by all means you can double or triple this recipe and make as much as you like. Now I'm adding all my cleaned and prepped chicken into a bowl, and then I'm going to add my seasonings. For me, seasonings are what makes the difference between food that tastes good and food that does not taste good. I am a seasoning type of girl, so on my channel you will find me seasoning my food very well. I will leave all of the ingredients in the description box on what I'm using today. After I pour on all my seasonings, I go ahead and massage it into the chicken really well. I make sure all of the meat is covered with all of the seasonings. Make sure everything is covered really well, and then we let that sit in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes or so that the flavors can marry together. While my chicken is in the refrigerator doing its thing, I'm going to go ahead and chop up a little bit of onion and some bell pepper just to put at the bottom of the pan. I like to have that layer on the bottom of the pan so the chicken is not just sitting right on the bottom of the pan. Plus the onions and the bell peppers always give more flavor, and again, I'm about flavor. So any opportunity I have to add more flavor, I am gonna go for it, always. So I'm adding bell pepper and onion to the bottom of the pan that I'm gonna use to cook the chicken. It can be in bigger pieces. You don't want little small pieces here. Bigger pieces are fine. I'm just gonna lay them out in a single layer across the bottom of the pan to make sure that I have an even layer to lay the chicken on top of. At this point, our chicken has been marinating for about 30 minutes in the refrigerator. So I took it out, and now I'm going to lay it on top of the peppers and onions. Then I'm going to add a little bit of water and some chicken broth to the bottom of the pan, just so I can have some pan drippings to use later on to make the sauce that I'm going to pour over the chicken. So I'm using a little bit of water and a little bit of chicken broth combined. I don't want to use all chicken broth because I feel like there's already enough seasoning on the chicken to really do what I need it to do. So half and half is perfect. That will work just fine. I'm just moving the pan a little bit around to make sure the chicken broth is evenly distributed all through the whole pan, and in the oven we go for about 35 minutes. After 35 minutes, this is what it looks like. It definitely isn't finished cooking at this point. We're just taking it out so that we can start to baste the chicken. This is going to help to add flavor into the chicken, make sure our chicken is flavorful all the way through. Baste every portion of the chicken, make sure you get it all over all parts of the chicken. Once I get all that done, I'm going to put it back in the oven while I work on the sauce. The sauce has honey, garlic, chopped garlic, garlic powder, black pepper, lemon pepper Mrs. Dash, which is a salt-free seasoning. I'm using that because I just want some of the lemon flavor from it. Later on, I'm going to taste it for salt. If it needs more salt later on, I'll be sure to add some more then. So I wasn't worried about the salt necessarily in the sauce because salt was on the chicken and I can always adjust it later. So I put the Mrs. Dash in there and fresh lemon juice. Fresh lemon juice is what I added to it. And then I gave all of that a stir. Once my sauce was nice and combined, I just basted the chicken one time with it lightly, just a little bit of that sauce over the top of the chicken, and then I also basted it again with the pan drippings. I did that one time, and then I put it back in the oven for about another 10 minutes is all it's going to take for it to be completely cooked, and then I'll start working on the sauce. Alright, so the chicken's cooked about 10 more minutes, so it is just about done. We're going to go ahead and take it out of the pan and use the drippings from the pan along with the liquids that we added to make the sauce to go over the chicken. I'm going to take all the chicken out of the pan so I don't burn myself in pouring the sauce out. Pour the sauce over into a pan. Add the rest of the sauce that we made earlier with the garlic and honey. Add a little bit more honey at this point. I tasted it and it didn't taste quite that sweet. So I'm going to add a little bit more honey at this point and a little bit more seasoning. And remember I was saying earlier, adjust your seasonings for your sauce later on. The sauce needed, to me, a little bit more salt, but of course do whatever you like at this point. If it's flavorful enough for you, then of course leave it. So we're going to turn the fire up to about a medium high and let the sauce reduce by about 1/3 to 1/2. By about 1/3 should be good. It starts to get thick. Right here you can see it's been going for about 10 or 15 minutes. So it's now thickened up. It's gotten a lot thicker. Now I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of butter to this, and I'm going to add some parsley to this. I'm going to let that go just until the butter melts, and then we're going to pour it back into the pan with the chicken. I put all the chicken back into that same pan. Now I'm pouring all of the sauce over the chicken, and then I'm going to put the chicken back in the oven. The chicken is just about done at this time. I'm just putting it back in the oven so I can get a nice dry brown crust on the top, and here we are. The chicken is complete. It looks delicious. It is lemony, it is buttery, it is garlicky, it is peppery, and it is delicious. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Please take a look at my playlist. I have other meals and other things that I've cooked, and my videos are linked under a playlist on my channel. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye for now.